Welcome to the School Leaders Podcast. My name is Dr. Gastred Harrigan, the podcast for current and emerging school leaders, those who support and supervise them. You will hear from passionate educational leaders who are transforming their schools, communities, and creating positive outcomes for students. I will also share my personal reflections and tips from over 15 years as a school leader. Together, we will talk about how to level up our schools and leadership practices. Hello. Welcome to the School Leaders Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Gastred Harrigan. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. Thank you for making the School Leaders Podcast part of your growth journey. Before we get started today, I want to encourage all of our listeners to join the School Leaders Podcast community on Facebook. There, we continue and extend our conversation from the episode. I would like to thank Dr. Hickman for sharing the podcast on Facebook, Rita and Jason for sharing the podcast on Twitter. When you share the podcast, please tag me so I can personally thank you. Take a moment right now to subscribe to the podcast and share this episode. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a comment. When you do, it helps other listeners to find the podcast. Let's get started. In today's episode, I am going to share a few ideas and thoughts on steps to be a better leader. With a new year, it is a great time to get a fresh start, to look toward new beginnings, to make positive changes. It is always a perfect time to grow in your leadership. Before I talk about what you want to do in the new year, let's start with who you want to become. So many people make do goals. I encourage you to start with who goals. Who do you want to be as a leader? John Maxwell, the leadership guru, once says, if you focus on goals, you will hit goals, but that doesn't guarantee growth. If you focus on growth, you will grow and always hit goals. Based on who you want to become, what do you need to do? Consider these 6 things so you could set goals to become a better leader. Number 1, a discipline to start. Many people believe that success is a result of a few big steps. Nothing is further from the truth. It is the small things that no one sees that create the result that everyone wants. Let me say this again. It is the small things that no one sees that create the results that everyone wants. Discipline closes the gap between what you want and what you want to achieve. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Yes, being disciplined is hard. Let's be honest. Being a disciplined leader is hard work. But the best leaders will always try to choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Yes, being a disciplined leader, being a disciplined person is hard work. But I encourage and challenge you to choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Based on who you want to be, ask yourself, what discipline do I need to start? John Maxwell, in his book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, said that small discipline created with consistency every day lead to great achievement gained slowly over time. Let me repeat that. Small discipline repeated with consistency every day lead to greater achievement gained slowly over time. Today, start with developing a small habit that will lead to a small discipline. If you want to change your life, if you want to change the direction of your organization, your school, your department, examine and change your daily routines and disciplines. Number 2, the courage to stop. As a leader, you want to reach your goals and push your organization forward. In order to accomplish more, you must do less. Now, this may seem counterintuitive, but the key is not simply doing more. The important key is doing more of what matters. You only have so much time as a leader. You only have so much energy or resources. Consider what you need to stop doing. Consider, the courage to stop things that you need to stop doing either personally or organizationally. Maybe you need to stop that initiative you started several years ago that is not yielding any significance to this outcome or making any major impact. Several years ago, I spent about 2 years planning and strategizing to start a new program. And with that new program, I was going to create a new position that I believe would have significant impact on the school culture and provided additional support to students. So I restructured the school budget. I find and look for money in my budget, and then I hire someone who I thought would help me scale up this initiative. After a great start, it suddenly became stagnant after a few years. I had several meetings over those years, several strategic meetings and review our strategies on a regular basis. Yet that staff member in the program was not able to move in the direction I thought we needed to move in order to reach and make the impact on student that I intended to. In fact, my admin team reviewed and provided recommendation to me. They thought perhaps we needed to stop and move in another direction. Yet, unfortunately, it took me 2 years to take their recommendation and to have the courage to stop the program and eliminate the position. This year was the first year I was able to stop the program and move in a different direction. To achieve more, you will need the courage to stop doing what is not working, to stop moving in the direction that things are not going well, and move in a different direction. If you're going to move your school or your organization to the next level, you need the courage to stop. Number 3, a person to empower. So if you stop doing more yourself, how can you and your team accomplish more than you ever have in the past? You will need to move and empower others around you to accomplish and to scale up your goals and initiative. As a leader, we have to empower and build capacity within our team to get more done through them. If you do not, you will become the lid to your organization or your school. If you are a great business person, a great businessman or a great businesswoman, but a poor leader, you are putting a cap on your company's ability to succeed. Why is that? Because ultimately, your company or your school is much bigger than you. You are only as successful as your team. You cannot build something great alone. Instead, you need to build people around you. And together you build something great. But first, you must empower them. Craig Groeschel once said that your organization doesn't become stronger by what you do. Your organization becomes stronger by who you empower. Somebody need to hear this again. Your organization does not become stronger by what you do. Your organization becomes stronger by who you empower. Today, empower your team and build a strong school or organization. Ponder on these questions. Who am I empowering? How are you building your staff or team capacity? Number 3, create a system. Most of the problems leaders have are system problems. Most of the problems that you have in your school, in your organization, are truly system problems. I would even say most of the problems you have in your classroom are system problems. You do not have consistent routines and procedures inside that classroom. You either have a system by intent or by default, but you have them. Your system is a result of what you have created or tolerated. If you want a better outcome, then you must create a better system. Create a detailed plan of who does what, when, and how. Quoting from James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, he said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. Your goals is your desired outcomes. Your system is a collection of daily habits that will get you there. This year, spend less time focusing on outcomes and more time focusing on habits that precede the result. Today, create systems to support your personal and organizational goals." Number 5, build relationships. Your relationship matters. The relationship you build are critical to your growth and are critical to you as a leader. If you want to change who you are, change who you are with. Some leaders primarily spend their time with those who ask for their time. They build a schedule by responding to what others want from them. When it comes to spending time with others, don't just respond, but initiate. Initiate. Reach out to someone who stretch you, who push you, even confuse you. You should learn, you should take time to learn from someone who's from a different field. Maybe in a different school, maybe in a different organization, maybe somebody who's in a position that you aspire to be in. But take time to build relationship. Now, take on this. You may be one relationship away from changing the course of your destiny. Let me say this again. You may be one relationship away from changing the course of your destiny. Today, build relationship. Number 6, take risks. No one ever achieved greatness by playing it safe. If you want to be who you have always been, then do what you've always done. But if you want to change who you are, change what you do. If you want to change who you are, you must change what you do. Now is the time to take risks. Mark Zuckerberg, owner of Facebook, once said, "The greatest risk is not taking any risks. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks." Let me repeat that again. The biggest risk is not taking any risks. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. What ideas do you have? Do you have a dream, a hunch, a theory, an idea? Try it today. It's time to try it now. Take a risk. If you think that you are not ready, the truth is you will never be completely ready. If you wait until you are ready, you will always be too late. Today, in this new year, take a risk and go after your dreams and your goal. Let's review. Steps to be a better leader. Number 1, a discipline to start, a person to empower. Number 3, the courage to stop. Number 4, create a system. Number 5, build relationship. Number 6, take risks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me today. Please consider subscribing to the podcast. Leave a 5-star rating and a comment. Share this episode with a friend and on social media. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for leadership ideas and tips. Again, thank you for joining me today. Until next time.